The truth about struggling children. When a child comes into the world, they're much like this pot. They look complete, and they are on the outside, but the inside of a child has much to be developed where their brains, muscles, and central nervous system is concerned. The fact is, gaps exist because the natural design of humans leaves much to be developed after we are born. Executing developmental steps are vital in establishing the lower levels of brain organization, developing our cognitive abilities, not to mention the mastery of our physical bodies and language. It is through the stimulation of our senses that body signals are sent to help map the brain. Gaining full function and developing normally is dependent upon all of these subtle and sometimes strong sensations being sent to the brain. The sensations or stimuli cause the dendrites or the ends of the nerve cells to grow into massive networks that allow all the capabilities we're born with to come into the fullness of our potential. The neural networks must be in place and firmly established. They become our high-speed communication channel, which teaches our brain through experiences of the who, what, and where we are in the world in which we live. What do you think would happen if these gaps were left as is? Well, you would see a lot of learning issues, much like we're seeing in our school children today. Because without our high-speed messaging transport system, the organizing of thought, comprehension, processing of information we receive by hearing, seeing, and touching either doesn't reach the brain efficiently or the signals are weak and ineffective. Without good connections, vital developmental steps are not achieved, thereby leaving the individual's functioning ability reduced or non-existent. We see many children with high IQs who simply can't learn. It's because their wiring is incomplete. Some struggle with never quite being able to get things right. They understand and know their failures, and after a time of total frustration, they begin to think they're done, when nothing could be further from the truth. When it's a matter of getting the connections between their body and brain functioning efficiently, it's a matter that can be fixed. Would you choose to leave a person in a sieve-like condition? Not if you had an option, you wouldn't. Some would say, well, let's just teach them over and over and over until they get it. Well, what's the problem with that? Until the developmental gaps are closed and the brain high-speed network is fully in place, much of what is being taught over and over and over again simply cannot be retained. The emotional response is akin to the frustration in waiting on a dial-up connection. Windows of opportunity are constantly missed because the processing function is faulty or very slow. Okay, so what's the solution for functional deficits and less than stellar academics or learning in such cases? I'm glad you asked, because what we uniquely do is to fix these gaps, or as we call them, root causes. Nature has provided a feature in the brain called plasticity. It allows the brain to change at any time in our life. For an individual who has missed some developmental steps, the remedy is available by picking up the missed activity. Let's use crawling as an example, which is just one aspect of many steps involved in our early development. The sad truth, most children in our society are missing out on crawling. They're not pushing against the floor or feeling hard surfaces against their skin or their legs and arms. And that's because we put them in upright positions in all kinds of seats, jumpers, and walkers, instead of on their tummies during their waking hours. You see, it is being on their tummies that they feel that pressure on their skin and on their muscles. They feel the resistance so they can develop their backs and their neck muscles. They receive sensations as to the temperature, textures, and the conditions of the environment. All of this input is actually mapping their brain and creating mind-body connections. Doing these activities is how the developmental gaps are closed naturally. The happy truth? These gaps can be fixed at any time. It's a matter of doing an activity program like Developmental Foundations, which we've created. We have worked with thousands of families and done research in public schools, and it works. The fix is there in doing the missed developmental steps until the function shows up. It's like building a muscle. You do the activity until the desired result is reached. And that's a very simple truth. Once the brain has the connections in place, the gaps are closed. Neural networks functioning efficiently is a result, and learning becomes easy. The impossible becomes possible. The ability to focus, receive, comprehend, store, and recall information becomes a part of everyday learning successes. You can be the key to unlocking your child's potential once you understand it's a matter of development, and we can show you the way through the Developmental Foundations program. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen. Please go to our website. We have many free articles and information for you. And don't forget to check out the Developmental Foundations program. God bless.